Salutations, everyone. I just wanted to get something off my chest, which I've had on it for quite a while, and that is how I've come to forgive my family, my parents, for basically making me fat as a kid and struggling with my weight into adulthood. So, just a quick recap of my past. I was from a Greek American family and ate the worst kind of diet. Grew up as a very chubby kid. I think technically obese, medically obese now. And as a teenager, I went on a lot of diets and I started getting into nutrition and crash dieted, lost weight in not healthy ways. Probably did damage to myself. But I eventually found veganism, for which I'm really, really grateful for. But along the way, I've tried a lot of diets. For example, Atkins, protein diets, high protein diets, vegetarianism, went off of vegetarianism, went back to vegetarianism, went vegan, and all the rest. And how I've carried this burden with me, or this resentment, for so long. And I still think that if you know the right way to eat nutritionally, I know there's a lot of misinformation out there, and you still choose to feed your child junk food, and they are obese or fat or even chubby, that is child abuse. But aside from that, I know there is a lot of misinformation out there, and there's people just genuinely confused, like I was. I had to read a lot to get to where I am today. And I will still learn more 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I won't be the same person. So I've carried this resentment for quite a while, and I'm sorry I look the way I do. I just got through working out. What I've come to realize is that if I had had a kid, I don't have any kids. If I had had a kid at the time when I was doing a low carb, high protein diet, and thought sugar was the enemy and carbs are what made you fat, then I would have fed my kid a diet that I thought was healthy by probably Atkins standards, or I would have fed them a high protein, low carb diet and kept them away from sugar and healthy starches like potatoes. And it just so happens that I've not had a kid. But if I had had one at that time, I would have done what I thought was best, even though I was misinformed. So I think I know most parents genuinely want the best for their kids. And even though they're misinformed about so many things, we're all human. We've all been wrong about things. That they tried their best. My parents fed me what they thought was a healthy diet. My grandparents, my aunts, my uncles, even though they were overfeeding me, I'm sorry, I have a stepped up nose. They were feeding me what they thought was a healthy diet. And that's how I've come to forgive and let go of this resentment that I've been carrying for so long, and I don't need to carry it anymore. And it's just, sometimes you need to be angry, sometimes anger is just, justified. My anger was justified. But it also saps a lot of energy from you, and it has sapped thinking time from me. It sapped time from me because I've thought about it and resented it and said all kinds of nasty things to my family in my head because of it. And I don't need to do that anymore, because if I had had a kid at that time in my life when I was doing low carb and high fat, I probably would have fed him that. If I hadn't come across, nutritionally sound information, I would have fed them the opposite of a healthy diet. So maybe if you are carrying this resentment of your health problems and towards your family that may have contributed to your health problems, I'm sorry for you, but try to put yourself in their shoes and consider that they may have been doing what they thought was best for you. And if you had been just a few years earlier having a kid, you might have done things that you might regret now. Maybe this will help some of you. I hope so. Anyway, have a good day. Bye.